everyone, Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I am not going to do a December flip through video for a couple of reasons. One is that it's kind of just turned out that most of my December journaling has actually been like super private. So instead of just not being able to show you much, I've decided to do something a bit different. I've also have started setting up some of my journals for next year. I did film that setup, but I think it might be a bit boring. So I thought maybe what I'm going to do instead is do a bit of a year in review, my thinkings for next year. This, I guess, I mean, I've been journaling for years, but I've now been in my Bujo / long form journaling / creative journaling system in a stalogy B6 for 6 months. So I thought that was kind of a good time to review. Before that, I was in a stalogy A5 and then other A5s, but I'm really happy. I feel like I found a home here. And then I thought I'd show you a couple of other little things that I am doing as well. So what I did instead of putting Post-it notes basically over everything is I Post-it noted the things that I thought I learned from, that I liked, that I didn't like, that I could chat about. And in true Sarah fashion, I Post-it noted it a couple of days ago and then life got in the way. So I don't entirely remember. So now what you and I are going to discover in real time what previous Sarah thought would be fun to talk about. Let's dive in. This was my first stalogy B6. My little kiddos there loved, the washi dashboards, the Dakshina, pardon me for my mispronunciation there, on YouTube does some incredible ones, so I thought I'd give it a go. I did this one on paper and then stuck it in. One thing for me in the stalogy is, and I don't have an example, I don't think, because I stick them all down, maybe in here. There you go. The front and the back page, can you see that it's like stuck down? Almost, is it like maybe 1/3 of a centimetre, 1/2 a centimetre? I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't understand why they do it. So what I do is I actually just glue that page to the grey and on the other side as well. So my notebooks read, it doesn't have that page. It goes from the grey straight into fully laid flat. This was my first attempt at a sticker spread. Interestingly, I didn't do one in my next one, but I have done one for next year. And I'm actually using some of the same stickers because they were duplicates, but I guess that is a little bit of how my style has grown over 6 months. I think I'm becoming a little bit more adventurous now, but I still really do like simplicity. These stickers I just got off AliExpress. I really like them. Where's my next? I did in this, was it in this notebook that I did? In this notebook, I did an index. I don't use it. I've stopped doing it. So I haven't done it since. This is the first time that I guess, as well as, trying to find the right words, as well as going into a B6, which is a size that I prefer to the A5, I also let myself just try and be a bit more creative. Halfway through this journal was the first time I decided to see what do we like putting washi tape, not just within a spread or within a page, but kind of to, create themes, tabs, things like that. This was the first time that I did it on the corners, and I actually really liked it. I always liked a simple kind of monthly title page, but I liked the idea of kind of helping theme things. In this next notebook, which I'll get to, I actually did a weekly spread where I put some down like that, and because I don't tab everything, I actually went, oh, that's really easy to kind of pick up then, because then it's a different colour. So that's something I would think of doing again. But I like how it turned out. This is, I guess, an extension of that, just following the theme through, and I kind of, I like it. This may look like a bit of a weird page to tab, but for me, look, I look at this page and I don't like it. I don't like that there's pencil and pen, that I stuff things up, that, this isn't perfect. But I've really been trying to let myself be creative this year. I really enjoyed creating this mandala. I do not do them in another notebook, but having them in here for me is a reminder that you don't have to be perfect, that things take time to learn. And, you know, when I was in this notebook and I would see it, it would annoy me. I can just pick out all the little imperfections. But looking back on it, I kind of go, well, actually, good on you for trying it in here and not on a piece of paper that you were going to chuck out, because it is something that you enjoyed. You found it kind of I'm talking weird, not weird, third person. I don't know what I'm doing. You found it meditating. And it's a reflection of where you were at that point in time. So that is why I flipped to that page. Next up, I tabbed this. This was my first ever go at ink swatching. I didn't have a dip pen, so I was dipping a vintage Parker that I have, a Parker Arrow. Some of my swatches weren't great. That one was a little bit better. I've always somehow struggled with the figure eights, but that's more of a commemorative or reflective tab. My first ever go ink swatching. I now have an ink journal, which I can show at the end. I don't have it here, but I can go and grab it. And I just wrote my thoughts on that. What else have I? Oh, yeah. So see, I'm remembering why I tabbed it. I tabbed this also just as a reminder to myself, but maybe to others as well, is that spreads don't need to be fancy. I never create. I mean, you see some pieces of art really out there on Instagram. That's never going to be me. I try and be a little bit creative, but also sometimes just normal black pen and pencil to paper to work some stuff out is really effective, and it does have its place in a journal. That's why I put that in here. I needed to just work something out when my son was starting solids, and that's what I did. Later on, I did make a bit of a creative spread because I had some time and I thought it would be fun, but that is a good reminder for me. And I'm really big on, if a spread doesn't work, like I'm not putting a whole bunch of white out over it. I want to maybe try and fix it or just leave it. Imperfection is important. And lastly, so I used to always do like a pen test in the back of my notebooks. This is the last notebook I did it in. I kind of ended up shifting to like commonplace books, and that's where I'm going to do that type of stuff now. I just don't need it. I never refer to it. Like I never go, oh, I'm going to write in the Lamy Safari. I better have a look. It just was a waste of a page for me. So this is the last time I did do that. I won't be doing it again. And in this book, I didn't actually stick it down, and that's probably why I didn't use the page. And I know some people do the washi dashboards across both pages. I just did it on the end. I actually used quite a few photos in this book, and then not as many in my next one. And it's something I'd like to go back to because I really liked being able to flip through and see the photos. So that lasted me 3 months, if actually a touch less, because then this notebook, not this one, so many stalogies. This notebook I started like 10 days into October. There's a plane going past. I don't know if you can hear that. When I was on holidays, can you see that? They actually wet the cover. And like it wasn't a lot. That was like one drop of water. But maybe it just sat there a touch too long. I don't think it looks warped that way or anything. But you can definitely see it on the front there. I did another washi dashboard. Again, I did it on another piece of paper and stuck it in, but I haven't perfected that. Went with a sticker this time, which I kind of liked. I found these on AliExpress and I really, really liked them. I used them tons in this journal. I tabbed this page because I just really like this. As much as it looks really simple for me, working out how to have kind of multiple colors and then also bits of white space was something that I struggle with. So I kind of like that I didn't overthink this. I didn't spend time planning this one. I really just kind of put stuff on the page and where it landed. It's only, 2, 4, 6, 7 items, but I can be quite nitpicky, but then also quite clumsy. Like I can never get things straight. So I get really frustrated with myself. And this is just a reminder and a reflection that when you can just go with the flow, it can look okay. That's why I tabbed that one. This was me really trying to force myself out of my comfort zone. It's colours I usually don't like, use. Very colourful, the gold foiling. But I look at it and I go, you know what, if I saw that on someone else's Instagram, I think it would look nice. So it's just to remind myself to keep going back to those colours and styles and things that I don't gravitate to and try. I'd never tried doing washi like that. I gave it a go and it looks okay. And it's just, I guess, a reminder to myself, because while I was doing it, all I was doing was going, oh, that doesn't look good. Oh, that doesn't look good. But I think it looks okay. Next up, really random, but I had like a couple of minutes one day and I was like, I just want to do something different. And so I just put the washi down like that and chucked a sticker on top. And I really liked it. I mean, you saw in the news journal, I did that on a page. I've done it a couple times. So that is just a style that I will 100% be coming back to. I really, really like it. And it was, for me at least, a complete happy accident. I have struggled always, but especially, I guess, over the last few months with how I do habit tracking. I never, I'll always start off the month strong and then drop off. And I, inspired from Instagram, I decided to try and mind map my goals and then create a habit tracker, a goal tracker from that. I still haven't found what's really working with the actual tracking side of it, but mind mapping my goals was a really great experience and it's definitely something I want to do again. This is also another thing I did for the first time, because I've been thinking about almost like theming every month in terms of fountain pen ink colors or washi colors. I went, why not actually mood board it, for lack of a better word? And this is what I did. I really didn't put too much thought into it. I thought these colors, and then I went, oh, what inks do I have that kind of read with that? And I did end up using something very similar to this, but then dropping off because I kind of didn't like it in the end. But the actual experience of creating a sped, thinking about the next month's themes, was really cool. I'm actually going to try and do a whole book in like pink and purple, like theme it. I thought purple might be too restrictive, but like pinks and purples I thought I could try and do instead of monthly. So I need to work out kind of how that storyline works, but that's what I'm going to try for next year. I spoke about this before. This was a really simple one. Just putting the washi down there like that meant flicking through it just stood out a bit more, which ended up being really helpful. Ah, yes. So, and I'll link the Instagram accounts I'm talking about, and because I have mum brain, I've actually forgotten her name, but I will put them down below and I'll add a title as well of where I was inspired from. Someone on Instagram, as they were doing reflection, put up a then and now spread. So on the left-hand side, in the middle, it's like goal, for example. So what my goal was at the beginning of the year versus what my goal is now. So then and now. I thought it was such a cool spread and good idea. I took some inspiration from things that she listed and then did some myself. I loved this. This was such a cool exercise to do. It was really, really great. I did then put my hand here, so I don't know if you can see, but I got diamine oxblood everywhere. But as an idea, as a tool for reflection, so cool. Definitely something I want to keep doing in future notebooks. And then that's it, the back washi again. So, oh look, maybe I did dip it in something. There's water damage there too. That's 6 months of journaling in a stalogy B6. They get a little bit chunky. This is what a new one looks like. Not crazy chunky. I don't really tip anything in. So it's really just the washi and stickers that chunk it out. But I do love the look of a used style. I just love the look of the notebooks in general. The other thing I used this year was a bit of a commonplace hodgepodge pen book. that I have kind of started in a new one, but this was my first ever currently inked spread that I did, and then I wrote some notes on how it went. Another version, I think I have found a nicer style now that I'll be able to show you when I grab my ink journal. This was my November one, so you can see that they are slowly getting, I guess, closer to what I would like. I don't remember. Oh, this was just another thing that I hadn't done before. I probably, like many of you watching, overanalyze what notebook I'm going to buy or use next so much more than is needed. And I was thinking about it and journaling, and I went, why don't I try and just break it down, make it a bit more visual and a bit more simple, kind of my version of mind mapping. And this was the result of that. It's changed a little bit, but this really helped me go and purchase the notebooks I wanted, and then this was just thinking about what I needed for my channel. So I think if I ever get lost with my planning system again, an exercise like this is something I would 100% come back to. Oh, I tapped that. That's corny. This is when my daughter got hold of my notebook, and I just loved that. I've also got bits of her throughout it. Ugh, lame. Previous Sarah must have been feeling sentimental. That's about it. I had done some, like testing ink, swatching with a dip pen that was feathering. So I do definitely like what I have now. So those are my lessons of the past 6 months. I hope that's been enjoyable. What I'm going to do now is talk you through what I'm going to do for next year, and I'm just going to run and grab my ink journal. So next year, but I've actually started this one this year, I seem for my actual daily journaling, I get around 3 months in a stalogy. So this is for the first quarter of the year. I expect to go through 4 of these. I wanted to have a book purely for ink swatching and my currently inked, and then I wanted a content planning and commonplace. And I kind of liked the A6 for that. So what I ended up doing was, you've just got normal basic stalogy. This is now my ink journal, which I have started, which is the basic stalogy half year. So pretty self-explanatory, but it's half the amount of pages. And what I've got at the start are all the swatches, and then at the back, I've guessed that this book will last me around 2 years. So I've set out that there can be 24 monthly currently inked. It's going to be a double spread because I want to take notes of how that pen and ink match went for me, so I can refer back to it. So from my first currently inked to now, that's kind of how they've progressed. And what I'm going to do next time is I don't mind the squiggle, but I want them all to be the same size. So maybe it's just doing like one there. I'm still playing around here. I stuck those 2 pages together because I didn't think I'd need to see what the bleed through of that looked like. But then on other pages, for example, there is a bit of bleed through there. Do I mind that? Do I not? I'm not sure. So this is still working out a little bit, but I do like this better than the ink swatching I'd done at the beginning. I am finding my way with this, and I'm really enjoying this book. I decided not to do a washi dashboard in here. This book is going to be filled with so many wonderful colours. I just thought I'd keep it simple. So that's that one. I have started using this, as I said, with commonplace and content. I tried to do the double dashboard in this, and I didn't do it on a different piece of paper. I did it on here. Why I decided to do that also within a pattern to try and match up for the first time, who knows. Do not recommend. It was really hard. You can see it's pulling up a little bit. I don't know if I need to start all over again or not. Sorry about that pause. I was just FaceTiming my daughter, who is at the park way past her bedtime. But anyway, I was talking about this dashboard. I don't know if I'll end up pulling it up, but doing it on a separate piece of paper and sticking it in, I think, is the way to go. But I thought I'd give it a try. Once I did that one, there was no way I was going to do the back, so I've just done some little decorations. I have set, actually, as much as I said I won't ever do an index again, I have set one up in here, but I'm not doing every page. I'm just putting in what are the important things for me. And I'm just trying a layout of setting up kind of weekly how I want to film things or what I need to do. And then I've just got other bits and pieces and pen tests and stuff in there. Thus far, really enjoying it and kind of happy that I went with the colour. It's a little bit different for me, if that wasn't obvious. But I thought for this type of thing would be great. I am burning through it, I think. I mean, the weekly spread things take up, I think 30-something pages. But I've already used like 50 or 60 pages, so I do wonder if I'll end up maybe going through 2 of those a year. We'll have to wait and see. And finally, the journal. So I'll show you the first few pages that I've set up. That's the washi dashboard I did for this. As I said, I want to try and theme this whole journal purple and pinks. So I went with purple there and the little sticker, and then on the back, just a little cap. I liked the sticker page kind of for that first double page, so I've done that again. I used to do like a thing of podcasts and books and whatever else. I'm trying something different. I've got 2 spreads and I've done discoveries and lessons learned. And some may argue they kind of sound similar. For me, discoveries is things like podcasts or books or recipes or, things like that I can refer to. And lessons learned are really some things that I want to remember about who I was in this part of my life. This journal is a snapshot of my life at this time. So just some life lessons learnt. And because I'm a nerd, I'm also going to put out what my fountain pen collection was at the beginning of the year, because then I definitely will do what my fountain pen collection was at the end of the year. I'm actually wondering if there's I did a fountain pen collection video. It was one of my first videos. I kind of want to refilm it and then do one yearly and see. I was going to say how it changes, but maybe the honest wording is how it grows. I haven't decided what my currently in for January is, so I haven't added any washi decoration there, but I just wanted to get that in. And my reflection page for December just penciled in because I'll come back to that. I want to do a goals page for the beginning of the year, and I also just want to put a family photo of what everyone looked like at the start of the year there as well. And then that's just my January monthly overview, and I'll do habit tracking, and that's it. So that's what I've learned. Those are my reflections. That's my 6 months in a basic stalogy, and then some additions. Stalogy, if you're watching and you need a spokesperson, let me know, because this isn't even all of them. I've got some in a storage container from last year. This is just not even, I was going to say this is this year because I don't have my A5 ones here. If you're looking for a notebook, I really do love these. I love the simplicity of them. I think that's what draws me to it. I love the paper. I love that it is a hard cover but also a soft cover. These, I found a notebook that works for me, which is great. I think this has ended up being a long video, so if you're still here, amazing. Thank you so much. I really want to try and get this out before the end of the year because it is a bit of a December reflection. So if you're watching this before we roll into 2023, I hope everyone has a really happy and healthy holiday season, whatever it is you celebrate. Please stay safe as well. Thank you, as always, for hanging out with me and watching and learning and living through my journals with me. I can't wait to connect with you all again next year. If you could hit like and subscribe, that would be amazing. And if you don't want to, that's totally cool too. I will speak to you guys all again soon. Bye.